I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
All right, Usher, thank you for that report. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I'm Michelle London. Denver 7 News at 5 starts right now.
Play action, Simeon for the crosser, intercepted.
We endured Trevor.
The problem for the Broncos has been turnovers.
We survived Paxton.
I think that it'll only get better.
We forgot about Flacco.
There was Case, Drew, Teddy, Brandon, and Carl. All right, we made Carl up, but we made you think twice.
Now, in Russ, we trust.
Wilson looking for somewhere to go. This one is caught for the touchdown.
The Broncos just made one of the biggest trades in NFL history.
It will cost them several picks and several players. In return, Denver football finally becomes relevant again.
Upside is endless.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Jessica Porter.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're here. Now, right now, we are monitoring several developing stories at 5, including a plane crash on E470. This is happening at the Peoria exit. Traffic is still being diverted off of E470. There were 2 people on that plane taken to the hospital, and we have a crew live on the scene gathering the very latest.
Plus, what the U.S. ban on Russian oil imports means for us here in Colorado and why experts say we should get used to the rising prices at the pump.
All right, meteorologist Mike Nelson also tracking the latest snowstorm heading our way, when it will arrive here in the Denver Metro.
But first, Aaron Rodgers, old news in Broncos country. George Paton has upstaged Rodgers return to the Packers, with the Broncos bringing on quarterback Russell Wilson from the Seahawks. And we've got plenty to get to on the major Broncos news, including reaction from fans.
Now, but the team did have to give up plenty of key players and draft picks to get him. Here to kick us all off, our sports director, Lionel Bienvenu. Lionel?
Yeah, guys, look, whatever they had to give up is worth it 100 times over. We are saying goodbye to Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, and 5 draft picks, including 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s. But you know what? None of that is more valuable than Russell Wilson is. Broncos are bringing in a top 5 quarterback in the last decade, a 9-time Pro Bowler in his 10-year career. There's no way to overhype how big this is. There was the Peyton Manning signing in 2012, the Super Bowl 50 victory in 2016, and now this day, as big as them all. There is no way to win in the NFL without an elite quarterback, right? And Wilson is elite. And finally, the search is over. The Broncos have found QB1. Broncos insider Troy Rank is live at the UC Health Training Center in Troy. We started with big news. Aaron Rodgers back to Green Bay. Less than an hour later, bigger news. Russell Wilson to Denver. What does this say about GM George Paton, who has found his new head coach and his new quarterback in the span of a couple of months?
Yeah, they might be building a statue for him outside the stadium someday. What a 14 months for Paton. Hits on the draft with a bunch of great players, great starters, but he finally finds his quarterback. We thought it might be Aaron Rodgers, as you mentioned. Rodgers stays in Green Bay, but at the same time they were pursuing Rodgers, Lionel, they were pursuing Russell Wilson. They were chipping away at this deal beginning in January, and what made this deal happen was Seattle did not want to trade him in the NFC, so Washington was out, and also Russell Wilson wanted to come to Denver when it became apparent they were an option. He waived his no trade clause for this deal. He comes to Denver, where they've had John Elway, Peyton Manning, and now their 3rd potential Hall of Famer to join the Broncos. What a great day out here at Dove Valley.
Well, Troy, this changes everything from the draft to free agency. Could this be the Peyton Manning effect 2.0 on the effect on the entire franchise?
Well, certainly, because when you have a franchise quarterback, other players gravitate toward him. They want to play with him. They want to play perhaps for less. This puts a return of Von Miller back into play. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but it makes a lot more sense now with a franchise quarterback. Maybe you get another offensive weapon or a right tackle that wants to block for Russell Wilson. I just talked to Dalton Reisner via text. He told me he can't wait to block for Russell Wilson. And Justin Simmons just texted me before I came on the air, and he said he's going to miss Noah Fant, Drew Lock, and Shelby Harris because of the friendships built. But he said, I can't wait to compete and play with Russell Wilson. Let's go. And there were several exclamation points to that, Lionel.
Yeah, you betcha, Troy. All right, thanks so much. The Broncos are now the 5th favorites to get to the Super Bowl after this deal is done. Now, you know Aaron Rodgers was just voted the NFL's most hated player by fans in a Twitter poll. So how does Broncos country feel about Russell Wilson? Let's get the reaction. Here's Ivan Rodriguez.
We spoke with fans on the 16th Street Mall, and everyone's excited for the arrival of Russell Wilson and very optimistic for the new season ahead. Broncos country has big smiles today. Fans are ecstatic for the arrival of Russell Wilson. Their team is relevant again. It's been 6 years of struggling for the orange and blue. This trade has everyone excited about what the coming playoff season might hold. Again, dare we even say playoffs? Broncos fans tell us they're confident Russell Wilson's experience and game-winning mentality will immediately have a positive impact on the team. Broncos have been trying to find a suitable quarterback since Peyton Manning retired, and some fans are even drawing parallels to what the Broncos looked like before and after Manning.
I think this, without a doubt, is the biggest trade since Manning. I mean, obviously we gave up 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, so huge trade, but, you know, upside is endless.
Wilson is really going to help us be a little bit more dynamic on offense because we've been leaning way too heavy on that run game, but not committing to it. Russell still has his legs underneath him. You know, he's still at the end of his prime, but he should be able to get the job done.
We even stepped inside a sports fan store just to see what was going on in there, the environment, and the manager actually told us that people were peeking their heads inside asking when they planned on selling those Russell Wilson jerseys. An exciting time indeed to be a Bronco fan. Live outside Empower Field, Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
Exciting time indeed. Ivan, thanks. Troy, Lionel, thanks to you as well. Much more throughout the evening. Now, Wilson joining the Broncos just increased the Broncos' odds to win the Super Bowl, as Lionel said. So DraftKings now has the Broncos tied with the Niners for 5th highest odds to get the Lombardi Trophy next year. The Broncos also have the 3rd highest odds to win the AFC West. Now, Broncos insider Troy Rank breaking down everything you need to know about the big trade right now on thedenverchannel.com.
And one thing Russell Wilson will have to look forward to when he moves to Denver, more sunny days. Today was another lovely day in the Mile High City, but of course, it is winter and snow is on the way for tomorrow.
All right, over to Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson with all the details on this Weather Action Day. Mike?
Indeed, there's plenty of sunshine out there right now, but that is going to change, folks. We're under winter weather advisory starting late tonight and continuing until 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon. They cover much of the state. There's even some winter storm warnings up in the mountains and a winter storm watch out into Kansas. It's all thanks to a cold front that is moving our way from Wyoming, heading southward. Look at the temperature contrast right now. It's 16 at Casper. We're 36 in Denver. That cold air is coming our way, and with it comes several inches of snow. Mountain snow tonight. Denver gets snow by 9 a.m. tomorrow. By this time tomorrow afternoon, slick roads and very cold conditions, and bitter cold by Thursday morning. I'll zero in on what you can expect in your neighborhood and just how low it's going to go coming up in about 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mike. Now to a developing story in Centennial. A plane has crashed in the median on E470 near the South Peoria exit. All roads of East E470 near that crash are still closed.
Denver 7 CB Cotton live on the scene. And CB, 2 people we know were on that plane.
Jessica and Shannon, that's right. And you can only imagine what those 2 people on board were thinking and feeling as the plane crashed into the center median of this very busy toll road, and one that we've all used, E470. I'm going to step out of the way and give you a better view. You can see right now crews are working to tow the plane to take it off of the roadway. South Metro Fire Rescue tells us this Cessna P210 plane went down just before 2:30 this afternoon. They also told us again that 2 people on board walked away from the plane with only minor injuries. That's truly a miracle, because when we talk about single engine planes crashing, oftentimes we associate that with tragedy or loss of life. But this is a different story today, and this is clearly a very skilled pilot. Again, we don't know what caused the crash at this point, but when crews arrived, the plane's engine was on fire. With the information we have right now, it seems like this plane took off from a regional airport in Kansas and was trying to land here at Centennial Airport. The final cause of the crash will come from NTSB. Again, roads still closed, and right now crews working to move the plane. Back to you.
CB, thank you. Now to the very latest in Ukraine. The United Nations says more than 2 million people have now been forced to flee. 1 million of the evacuees are children. Ukraine's President Zelensky is asking the UK to punish Vladimir Putin and Russia by adding even more sanctions. Meanwhile, private companies are implementing their own measures. Starbucks and McDonald's will temporarily close all of their stores in Russia. Coca-Cola and Pepsi will halt all product sales in Russia as well.
Today, I'm announcing the United States is targeting the main artery of Russia's economy.
President Biden now banning Russian oil, natural gas, and coal imports to the United States. Our European allies, though, are not doing the same.
The United States produces far more oil domestically than all the European countries combined. So we can take this step when others cannot. But we're working closely with Europe and our partners to develop a long-term strategy to reduce their dependence on Russian energy as well.
And the president warns this decision will likely drive up gasoline costs even further for Americans. The White House is vowing to tap into the strategic oil reserves to help ease that increase.
And here in Colorado, those prices keep going up. It'll now cost you $3.84 on average for a gallon of gas in Colorado. That's up 9 cents from yesterday. The average price in the U.S. is around $4.17, which is up 11 cents from just yesterday. The announcement from President Biden has fueled even more anxiety about our gas prices, and experts tell us there is no sign of relief anytime soon.
Colette Bordelon live at a gas station in North Grand. Colette, already you're seeing price spike there.
Yeah, we watched it right before our very own eyes. Right here at this Conoco, the price was $3.79 when we got here around 11. Now it is $4.15 to the gallon. And then across the street, not much better. Actually worse, $4.19 at that Valero right there. That's more than Colorado's highest gas prices from July of 2008. That's from AAA Colorado, who also tells me we're living in extraordinary times. It's not out of the question to maybe see gas in the realm of $6 or $7 this summer. We're all thinking it.
The prices are literally ridiculous.
And all of us have our own reasons to care.
I have a truck, so it was around $120 to fill it up.
But what's fueling the speedy price jumps?
Like across the entire globe, we feel a different impact.
Has all the attention on the other side of the world.
It is very likely that prices will get worse. I don't think it's actually going to be a function of the sanctions.
Skylar McKinley from AAA Colorado knew prices were going to do this based on last week's bump in crude oil prices.
The fundamentals of the market have not changed. There's not enough crude oil in the system. American producers are not jumping in.
He doesn't think they'll start going back down until Labor Day.
There's a world where we're talking $6, $7, $8 gas. We're not there yet. We're hopeful that American producers will jump in. There's reason to hope that we'll come to some sort of detente with Iran and that their oil will release onto the markets. But we're living in extraordinary times, and it's so easy to forget that because we're living through them, right?
People we met at the pump considering taking other kinds of transportation to get around.
Basically what I make is going back into my gas tank. So yeah, it's getting a little rough right now.
But realizing our rough isn't as bad as it may seem.
We're literally sitting here complaining about gas prices, but there's literally people who are losing their lives.
Holding out hope for a resolution on the other side of the world and a little less pressure on our paychecks. To learn even more, our digital team has a 360 in-depth look at gas prices going out in an email newsletter this evening. In that, you can see the average prices for Denver over the course of the next 3 months. You can also compare gas prices from different parts of Colorado. Now, to get access to that, you need to go on over to thedenverchannel.com/newsletters. Live in North Glen, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
It'll be at least 2 more weeks before I'll be able to get back in my house.
Months later and still living in a hotel.
Every day feels like moving through concrete.
Tonight, your Denver 7 Gives donations are providing a feast for families who could really use the pick-me-up.
It might sound like a simple dinner, a simple meal, but really it makes their whole entire day.